You know what? Want to see something interesting? One of my mods sent me this the other day, and I never really look at Reddit, but I looked at it really quick earlier because I was like, wait a minute, what were you talking about? So one of my mods linked me this and said, and Reddit somehow impressed me, a rare moment of sentience. And also, it's just amusing seeing the Marvel Rival sentiment echoing almost exactly what the Overwatch subreddit did over the years. And because there's this, and it says, watching high-level players play versus the mentality in this subreddit shows why a lot of players can't climb. I caught some high-level gameplay from a streamer and laughed at the contrast between the posts on the posts on the subreddit. I've literally never looked at the subreddit, so I don't know what they're talking about, but I have an idea. They were pretty critical of their own gameplay and always commented on what mistakes they made or when they made mistakes, i.e., I shouldn't have positioned here, should have moved here, or I shouldn't have moved here, shouldn't have used my ability at this time or here. Maybe I should play with more backline, or the opposite, I should flank. And again, they all mostly iterated that stats were mostly irrelevant. If you watch my stream, this is almost like the same shit with me, but the difference is like not flanking. It's more like tank positional stuff. This is funny because all I see on this subreddit is I healed 30k and have a 0% win rate. Why can't I climb? Without any form of critical thinking. They are using their stats as justification for receiving X outcome when they should evaluate their own decision more critically. And then the responses, I only scrolled like a couple of responses, so I didn't see very much, but like, I just wanted to show you guys this really quick, just because like what you were talking about. The common trait in every high ranked player is that they're very self-critical. They may have a big ego and won't admit it when they made a bad play in the middle of a game, but they know it and will improve upon it. That is absolutely true. And I am 100% like the target for something like that, like boom, like to a T. Actually, sometimes though, I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes chatters, if we're talking stream stuff, sometimes chatters say something is a bad play when it actually wasn't a bad play. Sometimes it's like legitimately not a bad play, but either it didn't work because A, you know, they had a support ult, or B, they just made a really good play that you weren't expecting. Like, you know, like the thing is though, it's like, it doesn't make your play bad. It just means you now learned of a way that someone can beat your play, and you think about that for the next time. What's common in low ranks is people think that there's nothing I could do. There's always something you could improve, even a little bit, to increase your chances of winning, or to increase your chance to win. A big part of this though is simply knowing the game. They can make a mistake, and realize, yeah, I should have dropped down when the Psylocke jumped me on high ground. When someone without that level of game sense will get in the same position, get jumped, and try to fight, lose, and think, damn, that Psylocke is way better than me, there's nothing I could do, or damn, I pinged her, why didn't anyone help? Lacking the knowledge of what is the right move makes it really hard to tell when you did the wrong thing. You know, I was doing a little coaching session. I never do coaching stuff, but SK asked me to help out with her team for Twitch Rivals, and she said something that I'd heard before, but it's been so long I forgot about it. It was a quote from Surefour back in Overwatch League days, where he was like, you should never be in a spot where you say, oh, if I hit that shot, I would have won. What they mean by that is you should positionally and always have like an advantage where you don't need to hit the crazy shot to win. Like, you are always in an advantageous position, right? Like, you shouldn't have to always rely on having some crazy mechanical skill. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're playing a sniper and you're frontlining, right? Like, yeah, if you hit the 180 headshot on the Black Panther behind you, you're nuts, right? But you shouldn't be in the spot where you have to hit the 180 headshot to kill someone. You know what? And this is about the end of it. So I'm gonna read this really quick before I keep going, because this is where I stopped. There's also an attitude issue though. There are daily posts on this sub of people crying how they can't climb because of their teams somehow. And this leaks over into streaming stuff. People bitch about streamers or players like playing with friends or playing with other people. And it's like, dude, that is literally what happens when you climb up to a certain point. One, people want to play together because it is a team-based game. If you play with people that you are friends with or know, you will have better coordination, and it will give you a better chance of winning because you're playing as a team in a team-based team-based game. And also, when you play into the higher ranks, a lot of those players are also playing as a team. The only difference is you only see the streamers, or you only see the pro players that you're watching doing it, but you don't realize there's a lot of players that don't stream or they don't do that, and they're also playing in stacks. So like, the game, when you load in, doesn't show you a group of people that are stacking on the enemy team and on your team. The players just know if they are. But here's the thing though, right? Let's finish this off before I finish my thoughts on it. It's a difficult conversation to have because people have a hard time understanding how they're supposed to climb when they keep getting stuck with god-awful teams. Being told that you should be able to climb no matter what, how terrible your team is kind of sounds like you're being told that you need to carry. But I think a lot of people don't realize the amount of points you gain or lose isn't just based on whether your team wins the match or not. You will gain or lose more points based on your individual performance and your current rank. I know that wasn't really clear to me at first, but when my team lost a match, even though I did as well as I could as a strategist, I only lost a very small number of points. I think it was only like -3 points that match. I bet this person was playing with a group of friends, by the way, and there was probably like one of the lower ranked people of their group because -3 is crazy low. If you're a good player on a crap team, you can still climb, not as quickly as being a good player on a good team, but you can climb. And I think this was like the end of what I read. And then I think I went to one more after this. That's the thing though, everybody gets useless teams while climbing. It's not about every individual game. Your win-loss ratio will depend on the contributions of your team because there's you're the only constant between games, which is 100% true. Yeah, you might have that shitter who sucks on your team and is like really, really bad or something. But like not every game is like that. And the math tells you should climb, right? The math tells you to climb because every game you have at least so every game they have 6 chances to have a shit player on their team. You, though, only have 5 chances to have a shit player on your team because you are not a shit player, right? You're a good player. You have a chance to roll a really bad player on your team 1 out of 5 times. They have 6 times to roll a bad player, though. So, like, over time, statistically, they should have more bad players than your team does, even if you have, like, 2 or 3 bad ones in a row. Our Jeff last match healed half as much as the lowest healer on the enemy team, and we still won because he ulted 3 people off the map 3 times. Numbers don't mean anything unless they lead to something. Oh, this isn't what I saw, but yeah, people obsess over numbers. They obsess over the numbers. People come in all the time and ask me, they're like, Flats, I have 70,000 healing, I can't climb, what am I doing wrong? And it's like, dude, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you. I have no clue what your games look like. I have no idea. Like, I can teach you fundamentals. I can teach you like certain things of like, you're dying too much, probably. You're probably mechanically not that great, but that's okay. You're probably not understanding like your how to play with other teams or teammates, or how to even just pick like one person on your team and play with them. But you can't just like pull stuff out of thin air and be like, well, I get a bunch of kills every game and I still lose. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you know how many games I've won where the enemy team has 60+ kills, my team has like 25 and we win? You know why? Because they just keep pushing us. Nobody touches the cart the entire time. Yeah, stats in these types of games always kind of deceive people a little bit. But yeah, to answer your question before, on how you climb, I can't just like tell you some magic tip where all of a sudden you're going to start climbing like crazy. If I could do that, they'd be simple. I could just tell every person how to get to GM in like 3 easy steps, and I could probably sell it. No, I'm not gonna sell you a course. But like, you get what I'm getting. You go where I'm getting with that, right? You need more than that. You have to be able to figure it a bit on your own. And one of the best ways I always tell people is you should watch people that are better than you, especially at your own role, because that's the best way to start. And if they're better than you than you are at your role, one thing I always tell people to do is to try to predict what they're gonna do next as they're playing. And if they don't do exactly what you thought they were gonna do, try to figure out why they didn't do what you did, and think, did they do something different because that was the correct play? And if it was the correct play, why was it the correct play? Why didn't you think about that? Or if they did something that you didn't think they'd do and it popped off, you might be like, whoa, why did that work? Because you will find yourself actually guessing wrong many times. And that's okay. You have to be able to admit to yourself though that you guessed wrong. And you have to be real with yourself too. You can't be just like, you know what I mean? You can't be just like, oh, they're gonna walk up and ult here. Okay, how are they gonna ult? Are they gonna look for cooldowns on their team? Are they gonna jump past their strange? Are they gonna go for the shift play? Are they going to look for a flank first? Are they gonna try to bait out a support ult? How do they lead into that, you know? Don't just like turn your brain off and give me those simplistic answer, because if you do that, then you're not that serious. So it's like, whatever, you know?